Entitled parent wants me to babysit her child while I'm at school. This happened when I was in 4th grade. My teacher, let's call her Ma. Kathy, not her real name, got separated with her husband at that time. She cheated with her colleague. It was very obvious. Actually, all of the students, especially in my class, are well aware that there is something fishy between her and our guidance counselor. Long story short, Mr. Guidance Counselor got fired and moved to another province, and Kathy is now a single parent who is desperately in need of babysitter. She brought her spawn to our class with the principal's permission. Now this is where happened. She assigned me to take care of her 3-year-old child while we are having a class, to entertain him so he would not cry or make any unnecessary noise that can distract the class. I was not willing, but she threatened me that she will fail me in her class. Oh, and I also need to watch over him inside the classroom in recess. I tell you, it's not fun at all. I can see and hear my friends playing and having a good time in general outside our classroom while I have to suffer with a little spoiled brat. It went about 2 weeks when my mother noticed that my notebooks had been doodled by a little kid and all of my notes are incomplete. She asked me about this and I told her about Kathy. She went ballistic and went to the principal's office the next day. Not sure what happened in there, but I think Kathy got suspended and we had a new substitute teacher. He is very cool and good at teaching. Never heard anything from her after that. So that is one of my few encounters of entitled parents. Sorry for my grammar. Have a nice day. Edit. Thank you, kind citizens of Reddit, for giving me an award. It is my first time receiving it, and thank you for those who read my post. Power hug. Edit 2. For those who are wondering why I didn't tell anyone or the principal, it's because, as I said, that Kathy has the principals, whom I have the impression that she's not very approachable based on her habits, always yelling, and has that sour face. Permission as a 9-year-old. How should I know this is supposed to be illegal? And it wasn't my first time to see a teacher at that time bringing a child in class. I didn't told my parents because I was afraid that my teacher would fail me if either one of them showed up in school. So yeah, this will be my last update. Thanks. Where about in the Philippines are you? Right near Da Beach. Boy. Why in the hell the principal allowed the kid to go in the classroom? Why even allow our baby into a classroom if both parents or the single parent work full time and can't afford childcare? It may happen. My mother and father took us to their lectures if we fell ill and had to bring us to the doctor. It was funny seeing 2 preschool kids being the only ones raising their hands in a class full of graduate students. In a professor's or teacher's office is one thing. However, a classroom they should be free of distractions is another. This is why universities now have to have policies on children and the physical classroom. Agree. Had a classmate that would bring her baby/toddler and later her second baby/toddler to class at college. If it wasn't crying, it was running around or screaming or loudly playing in a cell phone or grabbing things like markers, pen/pencils and whatnot. Classmates wouldn't say nothing because she was an absolute bitch that had everyone under her very fat hand. Any complaint about anything, toddler, her or even her ideas for the group, would set her up. She would complain to the principal or teachers. That would cater to her way, since she seemed to be in league with the narcos. Would show up one day with an expensive shirt or cell phone, then the next semester with a new car, etc. The one time I had the balls to grab her kid's hand to take back my stylus for graphic design, she got me suspension for physically abusing of her child. That's awful. But I think overall, that teacher shouldn't have kids in the first place. Is it normal in your country that you even listen to her in the first place, and where any of this is even legal? You'd be surprised on how often they would bring their child or grandchildren in school. I'm not saying all of them, but there are a handful of teachers who does this and force their students to take care, basically babysit their kids while having a class. That's why I was asking. Because in my country, the teacher would be reprimanded and possibly thrown the CPS equivalent at them before even asking the question. If she is allowed to do that, that is just really shitty from those teachers. I mean, it could also just be a country that is a lot less financially stable than yours and the teachers don't have access/can't afford childcare. It's really not that crazy. Of course this sucks for the students, but it sucks for the teachers too. And I doubt it's something they do besides the last resort. A 4th grader watching a toddler? Might as well have a horse watch your dog. Unexpected John Mulaney. Since when are students now teachers babysitters? When I told a teacher friend that I did not want our son to go to one middle school because the kids who were supposed to be in 6th grade math there were all doing 5th grade math, and I want him to be learning the math at the level he was at. Her response was that he could spend his time teaching the other kids how to do the math. She looked really shocked when I told her I wasn't sending my kid to school to be a teacher's aide. There's a difference between occasionally helping other kids in your class and spending all your time teaching them the level below what you're supposed to be learning. I have no idea when she thought her son was going to be learning the math he would be expected to know at the end of the year. Death tires of the big cats foisting their responsibilities onto kittens. This how all parents treat family when they bring their kids around. Least that's my experience. Closed bracket. And church events. I go camping with my church every summer, except this year OFC. Last year I ended up babysitting 3 kids all under the age of 8 for the entire trip. Lasted around a week long, not even a thanks. This happens to me when my siblings get together and they bring their children's. I love them, but I'm not able to attend to each of these tiny humans' needs, especially when I'm trying to decompress as well. I'm actually doing this RN during online school. I'm 14 and babysitting my cousins BC my aunt makes me. What happened when you cold and finish her notes? Does she get angry or not? Obviously her spawn. Being entertained was more important than teaching kids. And also have some despised for op. Personally I think she don't like me the moment she put me near the garbage can in the toilet. Worst subliminal message I have ever seen. She is just disgusting. I used to have a super nice computer/English teacher who seldom brings her 4-year-old daughter, but unlike that brat, she was very sweet like her mom and the whole class loved her. When my sister was in 2nd grade, her teacher would bring her daughter to the classroom since she also studied at the same school and she was the classmate of my other sister. Preschool classes ended at midday, while elementary classes ended at 2 p.m. So she would take care of her before they both went home. However, she never made any of her students take care of her daughter. In fact, she made sure she did her homework whilst she was teaching, and she sometimes let her students play with her. Well, at least you learned early on that having a kid while in school is not fun. A little deterrent for teenage pregnancy. Lol. To be honest, you shouldn't even bring your child to school in the first place. Also, scribbling on your notebooks, how the hell did that happen? I really want to encounter a Karen or entitled parent now. Just keep your switch at home. Oh, the entitled parents. I mean, they want you to clone yourself. Seems simple. Well, how the turntables. Your teacher just wanted to not have to worry about her kid. What kind of principal allows a child to babysit a toddler that can make them held back in school? Wow. I don't think that having a toddler at a school is a good idea. Kinda sad that the dad abandoned his child because of the mom's actions. Now the kid is going to have a hard time since the mom clearly can't find a good way to have them be monitored. Why didn't you go to the principal yourself? Or tell someone like your parents sooner? Op was in 4th freaking grade. How many 9-year-olds do you know that are adult enough to go over the teacher's head like that? I would have at that age NGL. But could you have made it stick? Or would the principal have patted you on the head and told you to go back to class? The kid doing the thing is only part of the story. It's also about how adults don't tend to take kid problems seriously. UHH. I'm pretty sure the teacher is making me take care of her child when I'm trying to learn isn't gonna just go over his head. But I do see that this story probably isn't in America and they have a different culture. But if it was America and it was me, I would have dealt with it. I'm happy that it all sorted itself out. Honestly, your education is far more important than someone's poor life choices. I'm glad your mom looked into it, but for future reference, you should have told an adult when it started. For someone older than you to impose on you, a student with zero relation, is absolutely rotten. I hope that teacher gets fired. Never mix pleasure and business, ever. Yup, that's pretty damn illegal, and I'm sure got either suspended or straight up fired. Also about that detail with her having principal's permission to do this shit. Well, I'd like to quote Drive Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. That is one big pile of shit. This scenarios are pretty common in public schools in the Philippines. Hi kababayan. WTF. I'm a 4th grade teacher too. I wasn't aware I would get free babysitting when I have a child. Good to know. Lol, in all seriousness, I'm so happy your mom looked at your schoolwork and stood up for you. Imagine if it has happened to a kid without dedicated parents. The principal who gave her permission to bring her child to school should also have lost his job. Funny how she threatened to fail you when her actions caused you to start failing. Since you're watching the brat, you were not getting 100% out of school, and usually schools are big on distractions. Heck, girls with spaghetti straps will cripple the systems. They make all these hefty rules about it, and that was allowed. I can't. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.